Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Foolish Fish Esoteric News with your weekly updates on the worlds of esoteric and occult book publishing and arts and events and paraphernalia. Thank you so much for joining me for another edition, and thank you to Miskatonic Books for sponsoring the show. I really appreciate it, Miskatonic Books, for making this all possible, right? Keeping the channel going really with your sponsorship. Miskatonic Books are an international purveyor of esoteric and occult books. Difficult to find books that have maybe been published abroad. They cut down on the shipping costs for you in the US. And also if there are books that have been out of print for a long time, and wherever you are in the world really, Miskatonic Books are usually the first to get their hands on those limited edition books that have been out of print for a very long time. So do go and check out what they have on their website, and they have some great news, folks. If you have a look at the pictures down here, we know already that the Hekateon was coming, and we also knew that the Gateways Through Stone and Circle was coming, but it seems like they are the shipments are on their ways to Miskatonic Books as we speak. My goodness, a lot of thunder going on. Oh goodness, and it's raining like crazy. Anyway, but the news is that they will be receiving them very soon, and we will receive them probably the week after that, right? So they'll be receiving them next week is what they're currently saying. Let's take a closer look at the Gateways Through Stone and Circle cover over here. I think this is still a mock-up from the perspective over here of the logo. I'm guessing it's still a mock-up, but still we can guess from this that this is really going to be very much in the same style as the Gateways Through Light and Shadow. So yeah, very, very nice. And of course that lovely grey edition of the Hekateon, the standard hardcover unlimited edition. Yeah, no more limited editions, it seems. There we are. So my next bit is not really about a book release, although do go and check out Mara Gray Starling's fantastic book, Welsh Fairies. This is more to do just a public service. Whatever. It's just I'm just letting you know that many con artists are impersonating talented magic practitioners like Mara Gray Starling. I know that Matt Oren is another one who really has trouble with this. Many people impersonating these people, these renowned magic practitioners, and then reaching out, saying, hey, do you want a reading? I'm giving out readings for free, but I appreciate a donation, things like this, right? You'll notice that, my head's kind of in the way here, but can I, if I do this, you'll be able to see. You'll see that this one is based in Oyo in Nigeria, and that's not where Mara lives. Okay, so do be aware, okay, and think to yourself, I'm being offered a reading. That's very classic con, a very classic con in our kind of environment. Goodness, that rain is going crazy. All right, let's move on to some news, some book news, folks. The Hours, the Katarchai, I guess, of Hygromanteia. This is a new book published from Hadean Press, and it's Matt Hadfield, who's been doing a lot of the promos on YouTube for Hadean Press. I'm just going to pause this for a second, and I'm going to go and close the window in my kitchen. It's like a full-blown storm. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. It's like a monsoon. Okay. Right, let's find out a little bit more about The Hours. So The Hours explores the hidden depths of the Hygromanteia, the Greek precursor of the Key of Solomon. I know that Golden Horde published a version of the Hygromanteia, just the Hygromanteia, translation of the Hygromanteia, Golden Horde being Dr. Stephen Skinner's imprint, right? You can check that out. The Greek precursor to the Key of Solomon, examining the nature and transmission of magical time through graeco-egyptian practices to the present day. This form of time is non-linear, cyclic, and mythic. We uncover some aspect of its expression in the north, upon the stellar axis upon which the cosmos is set in motion, and investigate the cosmogonic gods and aerial spirits which have been set there as sentinels through which we may negotiate. In this text, we find for the very first time a reconstruction of the names set over the hours of the days of the week as described in the treatise of Solomon, and examine them in a new light as the sublunar permutations of planetary virtue. Okay, so there's going to be a hardcover edition and cream paper bound in olive Wibberlin buckram cloth with black head and tail bands. And this edition is going to be limited to 400 copies. There we are. So you can already put in your pre-orders. This is likely going to be the paperback cover. It usually is. And if we have a look at the hardcover, then we can see the price for the hardcover. Yes, we've just had a description of the hardcover and it's not this. So that's very, very cool news. You can read what various people, very cool people, have been saying about the hours. People who've been published, of course, through Hadean Press. But David Rankin and Dr. Alexander Cummins and Ioannis Marathakis, who, of course, is the one who translated the Hygromanteia. I had his name right here, and Arman Lamba, author of the complete illustrated Grand Grimoire, which I didn't know that he'd done a complete illustrated Grand Grimoire. I'll need to look into that. Good stuff. All right, let's move on to news from Ninth Circle Press, whose second book is, from what I understand, processed and will begin shipping next week. This Betwixt God and the Devil. And you can see that over here. It's still available to purchase. The standard edition and the special edition. You can click here to order. In fact, I will click over here so that you can see a little bit more over here of what it all looks like. So the standard hardcover is £50, limited to 250 copies. The special edition at £140, limited to 60 copies. And then we have the deluxe edition, which is to be confirmed. There we are. So that's good news. But there's also some more news about some upcoming projects. The new translation of Cyprianus M.L. Clavis Inferni, an 18th century grimoire, is progressing, and he hopes to have it ready later this summer or autumn, fall or spring, if you're south of the equator. Yes, titles from within the grimoire tradition will play a significant part in the future catalogue of Ninth Circle Press titles. This is just the first. It sounds good, right? Sounds exciting. All right, let's move on to news from this is Lewis Masonic. Mosaic Palace, Freemasonry and the Art of Memory is a new book from Martin Fawkes. So the warden of the lodge shall take trial of the art of memory and science thereof, of every fellow craft and every apprentice according to their vocation, and in case that they have lost any point thereof, pay the penalty as follows for their slothfulness. Okay, so it's all about the art of memory, it would seem. During the 16th century, the art of memory had far greater connotations than it may to the modern reader. It referred to a specific set of memory disciplines and techniques whereby one would create a memory palace. This would be based on real or imaginary place, which, using intensive imagination, one would build up in the memory to the degree that it could be easily visited and used as a kind of mnemonic storehouse. So very much what Giordano Bruno describes. By Shaw's time, this art of memory existed in many different forms. Not only was it commonly believed to be a very good method of memorizing speeches, but also a great form of moral training. And so this book really goes into the art of memory and why it was so important to the Masons around the 16th century. So that looks very, very exciting indeed. And I'll leave links to all of that down below. Good stuff. All right, let's... oh my goodness, so many people. Watkins Books are doing a 25% discount on all pre-orders for Joseph Peterson's upcoming edition of John Dee's 5 Books of Mystery, published in August by Red Wheel Wiser Books. Now, I know that Joseph Peterson had already made a paperback edition of the 5 Books of Mystery, but this does look like a hardcover book. It looks kind of lovely, right? So if you'd like to get 25% off, you can put in your pre-orders directly through Watkins Books, and I'll leave the link to be able to do that down in the description, as with everything else. What else do we have? News. So Richard Kaczynski very kindly sent information over here about an article in Magic, Ritual and Witchcraft, volume 18, number 3, where it would appear that there's a 50-page article translating a newly discovered text of Book 2 of the Sacred Magic of Abramelin the Mage. So any one of you who are interested in the Book of Abramelin, are interested possibly in the Abramelin rite ritual, then yeah, I would imagine that that's going to be of interest to many of you out there. Thank you very much, Richard, for pointing that out, and actually thank you very much to Millennial Buddhism, for telling me about Richard's post, which I had absolutely missed. Now, Richard also pointed out that there are some AOS Austin Osman spare tarot decks and parcels and packages and so on still available actually through Strange Attractor. I missed out on the Kickstarter. I just didn't have the funds at the time, and I'm very grateful to Richard, because I've seen these decks, packages, collections, right? It's the Austin Osman Spare Tarot deck along with Lost Envoy, so the book about that tarot, and yeah, I was able to pick up a deluxe set, and I'm so excited. So yes, thank you very, very much. It is reserved for individual clients, so you can only buy one item per client, right? So yeah, if you own a store and you're hoping to buy them all up and then sell them at a premium, don't do that. That's a nasty thing to do anyway. But if you were hoping to make them available simply, you still can't do that. Yeah, one at a time. Anyway, those are the implications. It's obvious. And then yeah, go and have a look at some of the other books over here that Strange Attractor have been publishing. Good stuff. News from Troy Books. So Troy have been making some jewelry. I'm sorry. my words are getting slower and slower. I don't know. I think it's the stormy weather. Talismanic jewelry range by Gemma Gary, cast in lead-free pewter, made in Cornwall. They look very, very beautiful, and I think that some of you could potentially be interested in checking those out. I think it's really cool that Troy Books are making jewellery now, and yeah, I think that these individual items look fantastic. Yeah, links to all of that down below. Good. What else do we have? Opening the way. Yes, so this is the artist who made all of the pictures in the latest, it's the Complete Encyclopedia of Egyptian Deities, which was published just quite recently through Llewellyn Press, and it's very beautifully illustrated. Well, the creator of those illustrations is Ptahmasu Nofra Ua. I'm sure that's not the right pronunciation, but my word, I checked out his page over here, and I hesitate to call it art. It's so much more than that. Masterpieces is about right. Yes, they are absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And yeah, you can have a look down here. I'm completely amazed. Absolutely incredible work. Incredible work. And you can order them just as they are. You can order them framed and so on. Yeah, I thought it would definitely be worth pointing those out. I'm sure I'm not the only one who's looking at these going, that's beautiful. That's really, really beautiful. All right, I've got a few books for you guys over here from Amazon. So first of all, we've got Icelandic Folk Magic coming out August 13th. So a little over a month to go here. So this is the second book by Albert Bjorn Schiel, and it's following the first book, which was the Icelandic Plant Magic, Folk Herbalism of the North. So this one is offering an extensive grimoire of folk magical practices based on the Icelandic landscape, incorporating elements of myth and lore, along with his own tried and true magical techniques. So that sounds very exciting. We've got the Song of the Dark Man that I told you guys about last week, but I had been under the impression that it was being released through Theon Publishing for some reason. But no, it's actually not. You can buy it as a paperback or as a Kindle edition, and it will be out on August the 6th. And yes, Destiny Books, whom I don't know, seem to be the publisher. And yeah, so those of you who were wondering where or when you'd be able to pick that one up last week, yeah, my apologies. My apologies to Dara Mason also for getting that wrong. But yes, you can put your pre-orders in already on Amazon, and I'll leave links for you to do that down below as well. Then we've got the Baptist Head Compendium. Now, I knew that this was coming, but it kind of took me by surprise. It seems like it came out just a couple of days ago, June 25th. So this is not a new book. This is a kind of an old trilogy by now. I'm not exactly sure when the books were originally released, but it's Alan Chapman and Duncan Barford who wrote some books about their experiences with magic, and I read one of them, I guess, quite early in my investigations into magic. It was one of the books that kind of ignited a further interest. I remember it being quite well written and enjoyable to read. There we go. In the late noughties, the Baptist's Head Compendium has proved itself a seminal text and indispensable guide to anyone suspicious of or disillusioned by magic purely as a tool for personal power or material gain. There we go. So it's really nice to see that it's getting a full trilogy hardcover treatment. So that's good stuff. And then there's this one which kind of gives me... All right, I'll be honest with you. I saw this and I thought, oh, looks interesting. And then I read a little bit more, and I don't know, I'm getting culty vibes here. The 8K Family Handbook. I did some research. What is the 8K family? Obviously, the only thing that came up on Google was something to do with cryptocurrencies. Really nothing that I could find. Okay, discover your spiritual essence with the 8K Family Handbook. Embark on a unique spiritual journey. Blah, blah, blah. This guide is not just another reading. It's an in-depth spiritual background check designed to uncover the profound depths of your spiritual identity through the teachings and mentorship of our beloved sensei, Aigner Jacquet, and guided by the Holy Spirit, our earthly mother. Our methods have been crafted from years of research, dreams, visions, and divine guidance. Inside, you'll explore critical aspects of your spiritual blueprint, including your guardian angel, miracle days, cosmic families, among other elements. Each chapter delves into how to communicate with celestial beings, invoke your guardian with sacred psalms, and even understand the demons associated with your spirit, etc., etc. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's some good stuff in there that you can use in your own practice. As I say, to me, it sounds a bit culty. It sounds a little bit, I don't know. As soon as you start getting brands for branches of occultism, I start bulking, like the whole star seed and these kinds of things. Right? No, thank you. Right, but anyway, some of you out there might be interested. Some of you out there might be less put off by the culty vibes here. All right, and then we've got an Etsy store, FeastOfTorches. Now, it's not very often, so the prices here, of course, are in zlotys. It's around 5 zlotys to the pound, around 4 zlotys to the dollar. I'm guessing that's around $200, something along those lines. It's not very often that you get to see the pentacles of the Key of Solomon done in the proper way. That means with the proper metal and at the actual hour of that planet on the day of that planet, right? I mean, the instructions for making these pentacles are not super difficult. And yet, it seems that nobody seems to get them right? The number of times that I see these being just mass marketed and pewter, and it's like, hey, that's not what you're supposed to do. that's not the creation method for these pentacles. So it was really, really nice to see these pentacles of Venus being made on actual copper, and these pentacles of Jupiter being made on actual tin. Right? It's the way you're supposed to make them. So yeah, I think that's cool. It's really, really nice. Good. And it's just nice to see it being done properly. Right. Then we've got an interesting shop I found here. Skulls Unlimited. Now, some of these are replica skulls, but some of them are not. And it seems like you can pick up some very interesting materials here if you're into necromancy. This and also works of the PGM. I wonder if there's a donkey. I don't know. Anyway, hooved species. Here we are. Maybe. No, not. Or maybe lower, but I can't see it right now. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, just to let you know, there is a resource like that if you'd like to get some skulls or some exoskeletons or whatever it might be. Look at that, articulated skeletons. I wonder how much that would be. I'm just going to click on it. I'm curious. How am I supposed to not click on that? Slippery frog skeleton, giant slippery frog skeleton for 1,000. Yeah. Good gracious. Okay, well, yeah. Okay, so then you got replicas as well. Replica bottlenose dolphin. Okay, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, some interesting stuff there. And then it was Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth. I just remembered from on the Foolish Fish Discord server this morning, who pointed this one out. Do not play the midnight game. The folklore of ritual games and those who play them is a student who's doing a PhD on this topic at the University of Hertfordshire, and she, I believe, maybe she, is looking for people who have played the Bloody Mary game and is looking for your experiences. So if you have played the Bloody Mary game and anything happened or nothing happened, whatever it might be, but you want to have your experience counted, then this is the way to do it. And then finally, I was quite excited to read that the best fantasy novel in years, Piranesi, of course, is getting an adaptation from the Perfect Studio, and so it's actually Laika. Is it Laika? Yeah, Laika. There we go. Who did Kubo and the Two Strings? A fantastic animation studio who really pay attention to little details, and they do it they have been doing it so far by hand, like stop motion animation. Beautiful stuff. So hearing that they're going to be making Piranesi, which is if you haven't read it and you're interested in magic, read it. It's fun, it's nice. And that's about it from me for today. Thank you very, very much, everyone, for watching this slightly distracted esoteric news video. Don't forget that you can always reach out for a one-to-one conversation with me if you'd like to get a tarot reading from me, or if you'd like to just spend an hour chatting about your spiritual experiences, about your path, about if you want some recommendations or what to read next, that kind of thing, then the links to be able to do all of that are down in the description and also in the pinned comment. If you feel like leaving a thumbs up, pressing the like button, then that always helps, and subscribe, of course, if you haven't done so already. And that's going to be about it for me for today. Thank you very, very much once again for watching. Take care of yourselves and of each other. See you. Bye-bye.